You can hear it. You can hear it. You can hear it. Okay. It's here. It's here. It's here, chat. It's here. Holy crap. It's Sister Other Paranoia. Okay, I'm gonna... Did I put moody lighting on? It'll be fun. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put on moody lighting. Is it bright? Because it's really white here. Eh? Eh? I clicked on her. Hello? Hi. Touching Sister's hair? Oh, I can pet her! White, almost translucent. So clear, it feels as though it doesn't belong to this world. It's as if she herself embodies a beauty that feels like a fading dream. Oni-chan, I'm right here. Okay. Sister's hair. Gazing into Sister's eyes. Ghost Sister. We're looking at her. Large and round. So deep I could fall into them. Stare. When you're looking at me, Oni-chan, I'm looking at you too. Someday, we might not even know who's looking at whom. The boundary between us might just fade away. We'll melt together, you and me. By the way, be prepared for weird vibes, weird dynamics between these two. It's a horror novel, so please be prepared for that. Warning for weird stuff going on, okay? But this illustration is really cute. There's gonna be like weird vibes between the characters. This guy... The tagline for this game was "Everyone but my sister must die." So prepare yourself mentally if you're not... If you're gonna be really uncomfortable with this, I think you should not watch this playthrough. It's also gonna deal with things like murder and blood and probably a lot of cosmic horror and a lot of psychological elements. Is it gory? There's definitely blood in it. I don't know about explicit gore, but we want to keep this true. Okay, skip mode. No. There's no turn off gore, so I don't think so. That's just my stuff. Cosmic horror, yes. So be prepared for weird vibes about this guy and his relationship to his sister, because his whole thing is that he's obsessed with her. Okay? To him, she's the only person who deserves to be alive anymore. From what I know, he has an issue with his brain that makes him despise the world and everybody around them. Okay. Let's start! New game. Wow. Human relationships are complex and mysterious. Even a guy like me occasionally gets approached by someone. Hello. Like him. Just some random boy from my class, but he clearly had something going on to strike up a conversation with a misfit like me. Someone much lower in the social pecking order. I can see right through people. It's like their emotions speak directly to me. The guy started up an ordinary conversation, saying that he just wanted to be friends, that we should hang out, submitting to social mores, only occasionally letting our true feelings slip is what enables people to coexist in society. Behind his words, I hear a buzz of anxiety. I gathered he'd been ostracized from his friend group for some reason. When shunned by the pack, humans, just like any other animal, take it as a shocking blow. The guy wanted to prove to himself that he still had societal value, but his pride prevented him from finding someone to talk to. So he homed in on me, telling himself that he was simply being a good guy, talking to a poor, friendless kid. Part of him knew all along that he was using me as a distraction. I'm not saying he was a bad guy, really. On the inside, we're all shades of gray. He had both good and bad in him. And when you get right down to it, seemed to be genuinely trying to make friends. So I invited him over to my place. Quite the honor, I must say. It's rare for me to allow anyone in my room. There in my room, he was just like any normal teenager. Got a bunch of weird games, huh? You're into reading and stuff? Not really my thing. Who do you think is the hottest girl in this group? We build trust through meaningless conversation. Shallow interaction by shallow interaction. He dispelled his anxiety, used me to try and reclaim his self-worth. So far, so good. I have a younger sister, Sahana. She's a gifted child. And being my sister, she's very important to me. Like me, she has social anxiety, and she dislikes people. She couldn't cope with elementary school, so she stopped going. I'm not surprised. She was too smart for it anyway. So Sahana came into my room. Though she was startled to see my visitor, she put on a brave face for my sake and made an effort to join in the conversation. Ooh. Ooh. Thank you. He wasn't a bad guy, but I guess he tended to just say whatever popped in his head. You should go back to school. You can't both be gluey shut-ins. You have so much more fun out there. Sahana faltered beneath the barrage of platitudes, so nauseating it could make you hurl. She burst into tears. She couldn't cope with this disaster that had struck in her own home, which, unlike the classroom, was supposed to be a safe space. The stupid things he said, the tears sliding down Sahana's pale cheeks. It all set my nerves dancing on a knife's edge. Adrenaline surged, and my mind focused. Turns out, when I read someone's emotions in such a state, I see even more than usual. Until that moment, I hadn't realized that my sensitivity is pushed into abnormal territory, making me an aberration in this society where keeping up appearances is everything. What I said to him was simple and obvious. But seeing the flow of his emotion so clearly, I wielded my words like a scalpel, slicing away his self-delusions. You picked me because you wanted to escape from the fact that your friends ostracized you, didn't you? Ooh, ah. So I'm picking the correct way to hurt him. Whoa! Struggle with the fact that all you want is to be popular. Thought you'd schemed your way into the inner circle, found some scraps to claim, but then it all fell apart, and now you're screwed, huh? You act tough and fake with that smile. But you have no confidence in your own abilities. Thank you so much for the freaking month of unluck. I wonder if Vico will unluck me too. No, I'll keep you lucky, don't worry. Thank you so much for the 13 months and the tier 3. That's really nice of you. I bet your inferiority complexes was what caused your friends to ditch you. I'm too lucky to have Vico. Aww. Hi. Oh, chatters. Sorry. Okay. You act fake, that smile. You have no confidence in your own abilities and appearance. Oh, am I gonna have to say all of it? Okay. I have to say all of it to stab him in the freaking face. Get stabbed, idiot. His eyes rolled back into his skull. When he tried to form a reply, it came out in a canine growl. Meanwhile, in contrast to the harsh sounds, he trembled like a scared puppy. His face flushed crimson with rage, and overcome by emotion with no release, he slapped at his thighs, his maelstrom of emotions spilling out in pained groans. I guess that's just what happens when the softest parts of a person's mind are sliced open. You're a sneaky, disgusting piece of poop. Then he jumped out of my bedroom window. Sorry, Sahana, that... Oh. Yeah, I agree. I wish Sahana didn't have to hear that. There was a dull, wet thud that I wish Sahana didn't have to hear. He didn't die, but they expect he'll never fully heal from the injuries. The school decided that we must have been horsing around. He got carried away, and he fell out of the window. It never occurred to them that I could have talked him into it. I'd always been a loner, so when my class shunned me after, nothing really changed. Life is suffering anyway. I thought he actually said poop, I giggled. No, I said poop. Poo! Sahana simply wrapped her arms around my head and stroked my hair. It's okay. You're okay, Oni-chan. I can make people kill themselves if I want. I can commit murder without suspicion. At some point, I stopped leaving my room, choosing to stay shut away with Sahana instead. Time flowed on, leaving us behind. Uh-oh! Hi! Okay. Whoa. Holy crap. Doing this, I don't think this is, you're not cleaning your dishes enough, man. I don't think that's enough to clean your dishes. I think you're gonna be leaving freaking food particles on there. Okay. Hi. Train. I do love trains. They're pretty cool. I think they're pretty awesome. Oh. No need to do that, man. Oh. It's okay. It's okay. We all stab ourselves sometimes. And it's just a pen anyway. All you'll get is ink poisoning. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's okay, chat. It's okay, chat. Don't do that, though. I'm a sick man. Who do I think I am? Dostoevsky? Besides, everyone's sick in this day and age. They're all slaves to social media likes, penning their missives in the giant underground of the internet. Not that the real world is any better. I detest both online and the off. I hate it, but I hate it a lot. It's mentally draining to be so negative all the time. Time to think about something a little more constructive. Shall we put on a little background music? Music can influence your mood, you know. I do have a sophisticated side as well. A cultured appreciation of the arts. What are we gonna listen to? By the way, do you know what a panopticon is? It comes from the Greek word panoptes, which means all-seeing. That probably doesn't help much, huh? I like all the anime eyes. It's peak. I have played this game. Wow. Clea too? I don't know that one. This is my first time playing this freaking game. It had a demo out, but I didn't play it because I wanted to be absolutely zero spoilers when I get in here. So let's freaking play Sister Other Paranoia. To ensure the prisoners can't see into the tower, this makes them paranoid that they're being watched 24/7. Oh wait, imagine you're in a building facility for segregating prisoners from society. You stick the warden's watchtower right in the middle, then arrange the cells around it in a circle to then ensure the prisoners can't see into the tower. This makes them paranoid that they're being watched 24/7. Now, because the cells are arranged in a circle, the prisoners can all watch each other, you see? Thus, they will all monitor each other, ensuring no one is receiving special treatment or finding some way to get ahead. Quite a devilish invention. Social media has been called a modern-day panopticon. Everyone's watching to make sure other people aren't getting too full of themselves, and the moment anyone makes a misstep, they're roasted to hell and back. When the nail dares to stick out, the whole world descends to hammer them down. We're in a prison, see? It's grotesque. Both the real world and the online are prisons built from real human relationships. I'm sensitive to people's emotions. I don't know why, but I can practically read their minds. Though it doesn't really work over the internet, I'm just an armchair theorizing there. Still, since I base my inferences on the same kind of information I can usually gather in person, I'm pretty confident in my analyses. Let's take a look around this prison. Okay, let's look at the freaking prisons. Okay, okay. Expert breaking down online drama. So this is like a drama channel. Yuck. Anime profile picture who butts into relationship issues. Whoa. The corporate drone posting his minor daily grievances. The guy posting selfies who thinks he's garbage. Oh, okay. The artist posting cutesy drawings. I want to see this one. Oh yeah, she's fishing for guys. Like it could be any more obvious. This cute shit is all a facade with nothing substantial behind it. You can tell by how shallow her sense of self is. When you get down to the details, reading minds is pretty unimpressive. Similar to social mechanism. You'll see if you look for her private or sub accounts. Most of her followers are men. She tries to act like it's a 50-50 split, but you'll see that her male follower rate is strangely high, especially given how she presents her main account. Her need to present a superficial sheen of cuteness is the result of the pressure of the panopticon. It's like the final compromise reached to prevent anyone from getting ahead. If people got wind of her thirst for male attention, the haters would come down on her like a pack of wolves. The female prisoners are all surreptitiously peeking into one another's cells, you see? It's an unbreakable bond in a sense. I don't know though. I'm sure he's probably right in this universe, but I don't think people who post cute drawings online are looking for validation from a specific gender or anything. I would understand if it was maybe like cute selfies, but it was specifically drawings. Okay, let's see the online drama loser. These people are everywhere. I know at least one in my social circle who fits this description. The proverbial frogs in a well. Though unfortunately, unlike the frog's perspective, the unpleasant gravity well of social media is vast indeed. I wonder, does the self-important frog not even attempt to make a jump for the outer worlds because it's happy reigning over his vast little kingdom in the well? Sorry for the stuttering. I'm trying my best. I'm not the best at reading. Okay. It's more efficient to survive on slimy bugs at the bottom of a deep, dark well than suffer under the law of the jungle and the unpredictable, unknown world outside. We're talking meaning. If we're talking meaning, there is none. Like the nighttime croaking of the frogs, they speak on things they know nothing about. Ribbit, ribbit, they're loud enough that you can't quite ignore them, but they have little other effect, either positive or negative. Though perhaps they call their friends to them. Ribbit, ribbit. Usually, it's the male frogs that are the accomplished singers, and the females, captivated by the sound, are drawn to them. But as for the human frog song, well, you've heard them. Still, keep denying the meaningless, and eventually everything becomes meaningful. I mean, even the frog in the well can provide some kind of distraction. Not for me, but I guess some people live like that. This guy's the #1 judger of all time. They don't give a crap about the actual problem. All these people really want to do is either trauma dump or self-abandon or both at once. They blame the opposite sex, or sometimes supposedly the weaker members of their own sex, for their past trauma and warped sense of self that comes from feeling ignored. Oh, they must be talking about like... Okay, I understand who they're talking about now. Okay. Everyone's too afraid to address their own sins. And even if they wanted to, it's already too late. They try to avoid taking responsibility for their own lives. Wow, you've got a tough road to hoe. Imagine if someone ever told them that's life, full stop. They'd be screwed. They spend their whole lives looking around the prison, taking in other people's failures, swooping in to take the head off of anyone who lets down their guard, then displaying it among the rest of their trophies. Bunch of revolution addicts. Nothing satiates the masses like the moment the guillotine comes down on the neck of some self-important butthole. What's better than being happy? Seeing someone you hate being miserable. That's true. They call it Schadenfreude. I love Mr. Schadenfreude. That song is so good. It's sweet as honey to this type. But living on honey alone may be its own kind of suffering. Discard the concept of impropriety, and you too can forge a route to your own happiness. These people are marathon runners. No, triathletes who have set out sprinting across the vast ocean of the internet toward an instinctual source of pleasure. And between their gasps for air, sometimes the truth will slip out. A quiet plea, save me. Corporate drone posting minor daily grievances. This one's lost the will to even attempt to cry for help. No one's life truly is dominated by such bland, inoffensive content. If he was truly fulfilled, he wouldn't feel the need to look online, or he'd post more openly about his accomplishments and relationships. But he doesn't even have it in him to reveal the depressing realities of his life. I mean, it's pretty pathetic to see a grown adult constantly complaining. And what's the point of sending out a distress signal when it'll only make people dislike you? I do see that perspective. Anodyne tweets are his only resistance against this modern condition of slow domestication and the march towards death. The few responses from old online acquaintances are his lifetime. I suppose that, in a sense, he's making the most of what social media has to offer. I don't like this guy. Well, he hates society. He's very much looking at everything through a very dark view. In his mindset, he understands people the most. So he calls out truths about them. But I don't think he's actually seeing the truth of life and reality. Such connections are gossamer thin, faint as spider's silk, yet the tangible truth of connecting with someone out there in the wide world, for better or for worse, can't be all that bad. You think I'm no different, constantly complaining? Fine by me. It's an author's job to rant and rave at the world. Yeah, see? He even confronts the fact that he is kind of the same type of person that he complains about other people being. He likes to complain about society and do all that kind of stuff, but he was just complaining about the guy who calls other people pathetic or losers when he's the same level of loser. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, I'm trying to make myself a little bit brighter. I feel like I'm a little bit too dark. Okay. He even started it out the same way that the guy complaining about relationships on social media did, where he was like, society. I'm the weakest in the social rank. It's all... They all hate me and it's not my fault because I was doomed to be a part of this. But he's part of the same problem that he's complaining about here. He's just too stuck in his own world. No, he probably understands that he's part of the problem. He just enjoys complaining about other people. It feels cathartic. I'm actually doing a kindness by critiquing the drivel these people spew. Yeah, see? He views it as a good thing to complain about other people's mistakes. Wow, look at all the likes he gets for posting himself. His hair's dyed a crazy color. You think he's trying to draw attention with it, or right? Wrong. It's a warning color. It's there to scare people off. I can forgive you for thinking he has the opposite intention. I mean, look at the numbers he's getting. You might consider him an attention seeker, and that's part of it. But it's really about selection. He's sending out messages. Hey, I'm someone to keep your distance from. I only want to associate with people who really get me. Someone with more confidence, who's comfortable in any company, wouldn't go out of their way to look so garish. He is judging people for their looks. He's part of the problem. He's just repainting his head in the color of the moment. Look at the poems he posts with his pics. Look, the poems he posts with his pics are so cringe. There's no art in this lifestyle. He's just desperate to convert his youth into money and cash it before it runs out. That's why he only seeks out similar-minded men who live in the moment and vapid women who flock to his fleeting star. He offers up this period of his life where one's youth alone confers value to the devil of lookism. And how will he get out of that Faustian bargain? Every day is riddled with anxiety and the fear of aging, but it's not like he can do anything about it, so he shoves it deep down and carries on. This temporary popularity is his escapism, which makes it all the harder to break free from. Okay, buddy. Ooh, he's got a really clean setup. Look at all the freaking stuff that he has on his desks. That's nice. He doesn't look like he has like a billion trash bags everywhere. That's good. That's healthy. This is how I live, spouting these prejudices, cursing the world alone day after day. See? He recognizes the fact that he's kind of trapped himself in this world. Fancying myself a modern-day Dostoevsky, I moved with the times and wrote a light novel. I did work hard on it to tell a meaningful existentialist story through the heroine's character arcs. Do you know what existentialism is? It's a major theme in Russian literature. He's a Russia fan. That's crazy. Here's my own personal interpretation of it. God is the supreme being we should all believe in, but I'm a human being. I too have an ego. I think that's basically what Dostoevsky was saying. I'm a literature major after all, not that I can go to class anymore. I mean, I can't. I became a commercial light novel author, earning my living from writing at the tender age of 19. Impressive, no? Though I've only published one book so far. My book is called The Emotional Panopticon, which I think is a pretty slick title. Go ahead and pick it up if you come across it in the bookstore. It won a prize and everything. But they didn't print many first editions, so a physical copy is a rare find. The other members of my literature club acted as though a hero had emerged from our ranks. The reality is that my book was shoved on a shelf to hype it up. The sales are non-existent. It's all about what I do next. Still, I claimed my seat at the table, and that's got to make those still standing green with envy. There are even a few dickheads in the club who poop about me. Not that I care. The online reaction has been polarized. It's either self-appointed critics who get off on trashing the newcomers, or pretentious show-offs who heap praise on any work that shows the slightest ambition. Neither can be trusted. A few readers, though, went so far as to write the editor with their thoughts. To tell the truth, these are the people whom I feel the need to write the sequel. Light novels live and die on their series potential, and you're basically poop out of luck without an anime adaptation. This is true. About Russian literature fanboy? Yeah, he's a fanboy. But the thing is, I've developed writer's block. The envy of my fellow literature club members is too much. It's made me disgusted with people. And since I'm officially an author now, I've got all kinds of people kissing my butt online. People care way too much about status, while faith in the literary god wears thin. Which brings me to existentialism. As much as I want to make my offering to the gods of the arts, I'm only human, and sometimes humans just aren't feeling it. I'm sure Dostoevsky and Kierkegaard felt the same way. The Renaissance induces a shift of perspective, from God at the center to man. Viva la Renaissance! Ooh, I want to visit Russia. Yeah, he's a total fanboy. I feel like it helped me regain my faith in the arts. I'd love to see the snow. This painting is incredible, right? Something about Russian women. Fanboy, dude! There's something about Russian women. Their eyes are cold, yet there's a warmth in them at the same time. Portrait of an unknown woman. I prefer the alternate title, Portrait of an Unforgettable Woman. People call it Russian Mona Lisa. I'd love to visit a gallery one day and see it in the flesh. It's freaked up that no one can visit the Hermitage Museum because of this war. Yeah. Guess that's humanity's loss. But I suppose that's not where the Portrait of an Unforgettable Woman is anyway. Details. Anyway, it breaks my heart that art and culture are being destroyed by stupid egotistical poop like wars. I agree, it's stupid and it's a waste of time and it benefits nobody but rich people. And the petty relations of humans and their little cliques and social media. I'm not venting my frustrations at you because I'm not making any progress with Volume 2. That's not it, I swear. Don't judge me by the blank page. Once I type one word, I'm off. I write the whole thing in one go. To me, there's no difference between one word and 100,000. So loud, seriously, the whole world is filled with noise. The moment I step outside, all these strangers' feelings wash over me. So freaking loud. Wah. Everyone's always thinking about such stupid stuff. I can see the freaking poop, and I hate it. That's why I have to stay secluded in my room. Woe is me. What is this game about? A guy who hates the world and everybody in it except for his little sister. And he murders people. At least one person. He has one confirmed kill count here. He's a total Russian fanboy. It'd be much easier to cope with people's thought about intellectual things, but no, their brains are just filled with crap. Short-form videos and Netflix, dating apps, and X-rated ASMR. Whoa, too real for you? How about you and go take a look at Gone's Green Earth? You're so fixated on that little screen in front of you that you've lost touch with the sublimity of the natural world. Is that too big of a world for you? Let me break it down. I'm talking about touching grass. Yeah, this wet behind-the-ears light novel author is telling you that your life is devoid of poetic beauty and natural vistas. Ironic, right? Oni-chan? The baby! The baby is here! You're lonely deep down, aren't you? You think less of me for it. No way. I love you. Thanks. But I don't like to see you miserable. I like this soundtrack. It's really good. It's really nice. It's just how it is for authors. No creativity without pain. No, that's not the reason. You're intoxicated by your own noble suffering. I agree. There are so many people in this world who just enjoy being miserable. You see it all the time, especially in the online spaces. He's one of these guys who pretends like he hates being miserable, but he really does find some sick comfort in it. It feels like it justifies his hatred of the world if he feels in pain all the time and hates everything. But But if he tries to enjoy things, he'll learn that there is value in being alive and value in this world, and even in the frivolous things of this world, like watching shows and listening to ASMR and enjoying a video game. You know that life is hard, so you intentionally make it harder for yourself because you think that it'll let you run away from the other, bigger problems. See? Call him out, Sahana. Call him out. You're hardly one to talk. You refuse to go to school. Not that I'm running away from school. I want to be with you, Anita. Always and forever. I bet Sahana is secretly dead. That's gonna be my freaking bet here. He's hallucinating his little sister in order to give himself comfort. No, I don't think that's what's gonna be happening. But she does have very ghostly vibe to her, doesn't she? Really? She's right that I'm running from something. But aren't we all? People can't deal with reality 24/7. By that virtue, I became a warrior the moment I submitted my light novel. I'm not hiding in the literature club room, joining a wound-licking circle. Whoa. I'm on the battlefield, armed and ready, preparing for my next skirmish. You're coming up with excuses in your head again, aren't you? My sister read minds too. You blame yourself and you blame other people, and then your mind goes off chasing excuses. But truly, weak people don't even look for excuses. Somewhere deep down, you're trying your best to have compassion for yourself and other people. That's what gets you stuck thinking in circles, bringing you down. You wonders for that depressed self-consciousness of yours if you could just let it all go. Sahana is really good. She's so smart. See, I like this. Shout out Sahana, you're so smart. That's why I'm here for you. I'll always be right here. Thanks, but I'm afraid you'll have to step out every once in a while so I can crack open a... Don't say that in front of your little sister! Being antisocial is like he stays just for her, and in the end you find out that she really died, and you somehow made her memory into an aberration that stayed with you? Yeah. I think that that's a good one, too. I think that... If she's real... she might have evil intentions, but overall, right now, the conversation that she is having is pretty healthy. She's calling him out on his freaking bull poop, bro. Don't say that to your sister. I'll be right here. Were you listening to me? The only way to escape this mutual mass surveillance is through embracing tribalism, talking about primitive relations like blood ties. Being siblings isn't the only form of human connection. There are all kinds of ways to connect with people, like friendships and romance and stuff. Maybe somewhere out there, but... Wait, maybe somewhere out there, but not for... I don't know who's talking. You know what? I'm gonna just read everything as Sahana. Maybe somewhere out there, but not for me. You say that to... most everyone is a frog in a well, but you're an author in your room. I'm not just holed up in here pretending to be an author. I've actually published something. I get royalties, enough to live on even. And it doesn't matter that you're not writing. You can be happy if that's what you want. My only joy is in sublimating misery. Pat her on my head. Oh, pat. Thanks, Sahana. You're welcome, Winnie-chan. Till death do us part. And how about we die right now? No, not yet. You still have a lot left to... Wait. Okay. So she goes, till death do us part. And how about we die right now? No, not yet. You still have a lot left to write. Uh-huh. Mutual is this referencing the panopticon? Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly what it's referencing. Okay. Good night, Oni-chan. Night, Sahana. Hope you have sweet dreams. I already am. She might be dead. 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 She might be a ghost. Ooh. Here, let me turn on the white hair toggle. We can match her. Bah! Ever since I was a child, I've always been one step removed from the rest of the world. I couldn't stand in its rotten stench. I unconsciously trained myself to take a bird's eye view of the universe, as though I wasn't part of it. Hello? Whoa! This lady is attractive, sorry. You guys can't really see, but she's a very attractive lady. She got a very... The artist for this game is so good. On point for once? I think so. And how did I see my parents? A pig in a... Wait, ever since I was a child, I've always been one step removed from the rest of the world. I couldn't stand its rotten stench. I unconsciously trained myself to take a bird's eye view of the universe, as though I wasn't part of it. And how did I see my parents? A pig in a kappa. Two bundles of vanity wrapped up in the stereotypical trappings of middle age. My father, a pudgy white-collared worker who throws his weight around to hide the fact that he has nothing going for him beyond his position at the company. My mother, a nympho who drains her husband's meager earnings, still desperately seeking flattery from men despite being old and washed up. She's attractive. Don't hate on your mom too hard, bro. Even as they rip each other to shreds, day in and day out, they stay together for the sake of appearances, leaving my sister and I caught in the middle of their disputes. Well, to be clear, they don't try and drag us into their poop. They're just constantly in one another's throats. Still, neither ever found the courage to take kids and leave. The endless repetitive routine of it bores me. I'm wondering why they're even alive. What are they living for? For Dad, the list seems to be working, drinking, and betting on the ponies. Wah, horse. My mom hoards trinkets and sleeps around. But a designer bag or a winning ticket isn't going to fill the emptiness inside. That's a process, something you work at your whole life, not something you can just achieve in one day. Fortunately, they're the kind of people who want to save face in front of kids, and it only creeps them out when I say such things to them. So pathetic. It's interesting. They must have not really spent a lot of time together. Ooh! I think that life is about finding meaning. I mean, anyone can simply exist. It's not what I'm talking about. There's no inherent meaning here. Being here on Earth just means your parents followed their base biological instincts, the urge to reproduce, God's commandment, be fruitful and multiply. I highly doubt God imbues each sexual encounter with divine meaning, being born is a coincidence. Some people attempt to find meaning in their existence. However, those are the ones like me who end up with pseudo-intellectual bent and a career to match. This is an interesting mindset to have. I do agree that I think people are just born because of the fact that people, you know, I don't think there's a higher meaning to being born. Any cuddles? Okay. But yahoo! But I think because of his own self-hatred, he's viewing it in a very negative light. I think that the fact that you don't really have a purpose is the thing that's so nice, because it means that you don't really need to achieve anything to be a successful human being. Just being alive and breathing, drinking water, maybe occasionally going for a walk, going outside, talking to people, seeing sunlight. You know, that is enough to make you a successful human, because you're doing what's good for you, which is going outside, making bonds with other people, things like that. As long as you're able to show kindness to those around you, you're being a successful human. And that's the nice thing about not really having a purpose when you're born. But he views it as a punishment, that because you don't have a purpose, you have to meaninglessly chase things. I think something that really helped me with my mindset on the world when I was young was learning that it's okay to enjoy frivolous things. It's okay to enjoy getting a coffee or getting a nice bag or having fun at an arcade, or these things that technically don't further your purpose as a human, because they're little things that make you happy, and those little happinesses combine into one big happiness that you get from spending time with other people and feeling fulfilled from working and things like that, you know? So this guy is super negative, and I really hope that we can hopefully find an ending where he learns about the fact that this world isn't really set up to screw you over. You can still find good even in the lowest experiences. It's human nature to find happiness even in the highest pits of misery, or the deepest pits of misery. The people who go around saying they want to be a writer while never doing anything to make it a reality aren't actually interested in finding their purpose. Those people are content with their lives, such as they are. They get used to the daily grind at the job. They told themselves was going to be a stopgap and figure, hey, they're making a living, and it's not so bad after all, following the same old routine of interacting with coworkers and killing time online after work. If you're truly hungry for meaning and purpose, you can seize them yourself. Dreams do come true. I'd be lynched if I said that at my club, though. Are we going to the club? Wow! Wait, he does go outside. He's not like a total hikikomori. Advice music video will go very wise. Thank you, thank you. I'm a member of my not overly impressive university's literature club. I figured it was a place where things would be a little quieter for me. Let's take a peek into their minds. Well, he's clearly doing some things to be a functioning human in society. He's going to a club, something I never really did. So I think we should give him props for that. He is working on making bonds with people despite the fact that he has an issue with society and people around him, and he thinks that all people are shallow. I spent so much time thinking about people's reasons for living that I can pretty much read the mind of anyone I've had an interaction with. In fact, I can practically hear their inner monologues through spoken out loud. Okay, we get to see it. Member D, member B, member A, member C. Let's go in order. Oh, is that me? Wait, that's me! That's me in the corner there! A window shopper, plain and simple. He has no intention of becoming a writer. He likes to think he's smarter than his peers, who spend their time gaming or reading manga, and he's got to maintain that self-image. So he shows up at the club room, and very occasionally he writes some sort of critique to stroke his own ego. It's not even at the level of a high school book report, and even so, he mostly just copies it from essays he finds online. He hasn't been reading as much recently, instead spending more time on mobile gaming and webcomics. He kind of wants to become one of those insufferable film guys, but his problem is that he immediately gets distracted by his phone whenever he starts watching a movie at home. So he doesn't really absorb the content. His type is pretty good at navigating life, and he might even land a job at a small publisher before graduating. There, he'll tell the young author he runs into, I just couldn't hack it as a writer. Like he's passing on his dreams to the next generation, when in reality he's just passing the buck. Okay, buddy. That's me, the main character. Person X. Yeah, but he's making the effort to actually go outside and stuff. A lot of people succumb to their hatred of the world and their fears, and they just never try. And that is worse than at the very least trying to go outside and spending time with other people and communicating with them, even if he's not putting in the effort to build the bonds. But I do understand that perspective. Maybe I'll hydrate. Please, yes, thank you. I will. Here, let me take more of my freaking energy drink. I'm getting a tongue workout right now. A girl who loves literature, but loves being a literature girly even more. In high school, she was one of those forgettable girls with few prospects, but on entering college, she found her niche as a reader and suddenly shot up in popularity. If you can really get into it with her over whatever club is reading this week, you'll be seen as the popular guy. So the guys spend their dull days trying to impress her, with more than a few falling for her along the way. She's a little anxious. She knows that her value is extremely localized. She's got to seize the next opportunity as soon as it presents itself. And she's here with the aim of her current popularity as a springboard to find a man and lock down her life. Okay, let's call out the fact that he doesn't really... From everything that we've seen, he only really sees women in their relationship to the men around him. Around them. Do we see what I'm saying here? So far, every time he's critiqued a woman, he's been like, all she cares about is obsession, or guys, and her value as a woman, and blah 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 blah, and biology and a biological clock. But he's not realizing the fact that he's not seeing the humanity within them. He talks about how he wants to meet a Russian woman, but he doesn't talk about the conversations that he wants to have with that woman. He's just mesmerized by their looks. He is a misogynist. He definitely is. I think he's gonna have a lot of built-in judgments about women and different members of society that will call out the fact that even where he views himself as the lowest part of the social pecking order, he still has a lot of privileges that allow him to say these very cruel things about people who are genuinely marginalized in their society. Pick Me is the only woman type that we've seen. No, I think we're gonna see him talk about different types of women, but I don't think he's gonna find any of them appealing, like attractive, and therefore they don't have value. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm getting, but I don't want to, you know, put words in his mouth before we get there. I like staying inside, so, that's okay. I think being a homebody isn't a bad thing. She's got to seize the next opportunity as soon as it presents itself, and she's here with the aim of using her current popularity as a springboard to find a man and lock her life down. Still, she's not a bad person. This is just what people do. See? 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 Ugh. Okay, let's talk about member C. She has an aversion to men, like a germaphobe to germs. Thus, she reads books that have gender as a central theme. She takes pleasure in the consistency and routine of the club meetings, sharing her insights into these works, as well as her own thoughts on her pet theme. Her identity now revolves around delivering her insights on how a work depicts women, whether they want to hear it or not. She loathes toxic masculinity and is highly critical of any perceived vulgar talk from club members or people online. People neither respect nor fear her, though they've simply started avoiding her because she's such a pain in the ass. It feels like he doesn't view the struggles or the thought processes of women valuable. But he's not really valuing anybody's thoughts here. But the way that he talks about the opinions these women share is very telling about how he views women. If he was listening to me talking about it, his views right now, he would probably be like, "Oh, another loser who thinks they're smarter than they are." But really, he's just as pathetic as I am, staying inside all day and wasting his life away on the internet, trying to get social points and blah 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 blah. But the thing is, he doesn't really find value in any purpose. He idolizes these people to the point. He idolizes people he looks up to the point of viewing them as deities, right? He views Sahana as angelic. He views Dostoevsky as this incredibly smart and intelligent man. He views all of these people as above humanity. And he doesn't recognize the fact that they are human and therefore also have flaws. But from what we're seeing right now, he blows up those flaws as their only purpose in life. Everybody has flaws. Everybody has issues. I'm a lazy person. There's probably people who have plenty of flaws, but that doesn't detract from the fact they still have good qualities as well. Also, hello. Welcome. Conscious of the differences between men and women only narrows one's worldview. Follower count is just a number, but she feels beholden to the people whose attention she has garnered with her provocative rhetoric. Her success is modest, but it is success nonetheless. I think... I do agree with the mindset that it is reductive to view the experiences of men and women as these two things that could never be similar. Because at the end of the day, we're both human. We both have the same chemical structures in our brains, or similar chemical structures in our brains. We both go through pain. We both go through struggles and things like that. So I don't think it's fair to only think of it in the perspective of this experience is this way because this person is a man, and this person experience is this way because this person is a woman, and all of the other gender identities and the spectrum that exists doesn't really work with that mindset, right? Because it's hyper specific. But he's also not recognizing the fact that it is important to take into account a person's experiences as a member of society into why their actions are the way that they are. You know what I mean? This is a yappy game, so I hope you guys understand. It's very yappy, so I'm gonna be yappy as well. Her success is modest, but it is success nonetheless. The root of it all is a lack of self-esteem as a woman who doesn't get much attention from the opposite sex. See? He always comes back to this idea that it has to be validation from guys. He always ends up in this, and I do think that there is truth to this. I think that people who are taught that their value only comes from the approval of a certain person are gonna subconsciously want the approval, but the way he talks about it is as though it's their fault, when it is, in fact, a societal issue. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. We'll see through that truth. The men and women in the club exist far more harmoniously than she'd ever have you believe. In her shouted rants about liberation and independence, she reveals her heart bound by invisible chains. He likes literature, writing criticism, and hanging out with the group, and he participates in it all up to a point, but his heart isn't in it. His critiques are fine. Literature grads aren't exactly in high demand, but I expect he has a decent chance of finding employment. He's pretty much got things figured out, but he's not driven and has a complex about that. Sure, he wants to be a writer, but he doesn't have the passion to devote himself entirely to the craft. Given the chance, he'd much rather go out with his friends. When we're making a zine, he might pull an all-nighter for it. He skates by on his level of commitment. The other club members generally like his writing, but we all, including him, know he's not good enough to be published. Vaguely, he had hoped even so, maybe he could become a writer, that with his natural ability to get by, he might unexpectedly slip through that gate. But little by little, precisely because he is perceptive, he realizes that the drive possessed by the real ones is nothing like this. And so, despite thinking of himself as the kind of guy who can do anything he puts his mind to, he's given up on the idea, knowing that he'll never be able to dedicate himself to something to the exclusion of all else. He'll graduate with a mixed bag of happiness and unhappiness, which is normal. You can't have only happiness. Zine being cool. Yeah, that is really cool. I love zines. Maybe one day I'll make one myself. They're very cool. He'll graduate with a mixed bag of happiness and unhappiness, topped with a heaping helping of existential dread about life, filled with mediocre accomplishments, and the rare fluke of a solid showing, yet with no clear game plan. I suppose that's about all you can expect from the average university student anyway. Yes, I am qualified to judge. Don't forget that I made it past the gatekeepers. I'm a published author. Last but not least, there's a guy in the back of the room cultivating a gloomy aura. That's you, bruh. You're the gloomy aura. You gotta be. Also, I was gonna say, I'm sure it doesn't help when he's surrounded by a guy who clearly despises everybody. Guy who clearly doesn't view anybody as having value. The one with the unsettling look in his eyes. He's a real character, but the truth is, he's just your average wannabe. Another young guy dreaming of being an author and a critic. Oh, I guess it's not me. Whenever I'm successful, he directs his oppressive envy at me like a laser, and it burns. Okay. Hiyakawa. His name is Hiyakawa, written in the characters for Cold River. The guy's as icy as his namesake. People used to ironically call him sensei because he pompously criticizes others despite not having achieved anything himself. That all ended when my book was published. Now I'm sensei. It's hard to tell whether he's glad the nickname is gone, or whether he just liked having his superiority acknowledged, even in jest. He burns with envy toward anyone he thinks has gotten ahead of him in life. Every day he compliments me on my work. It's so obnoxious. I want to quit the club, but now that I'm an author, it feels awkward. That's the only reason I'm still here. By the way, I do have a friend I sometimes hang out with on the weekends, but things are awkward with him now too. He's the most normal normie who's ever normed. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't really like hanging out with somebody who doesn't view him as a unique individual. We were never joined at the hip or anything, but I've known him since elementary school. Sometimes we don't hang out for a few years, but we always seem to come back together. You know the kind of relationship, right? He seems to be working hard to line up for a job after graduation. That's the kind of thing that makes him a normie, you see. A normal person walks around wearing clothes because normal people don't go naked in public, okay? We plan to meet up as soon as my books to celebrate my book's publication. Well, it won't be much of a celebration. We're just gonna hang out in town and he'll probably treat me to dinner. It'll be pure normalcy. I mean, that in a good way. I'm grateful for it, but as someone who can read minds, I'm also a bit nervous for it. Beneath his outward celebration of my success, frustration buzzes. He's desperately trying to suppress the fear of being surpassed by his friends. He doesn't know how to feel about the fact that I'm here getting money and recognition while he's dealing with the stress of job hunting. Well, what can you do? And yet, it's another interpersonal struggle, albeit of a different kind from what I have with Hiyakawa. Interesting. Wow. There's some things that would make people like this envious. That's what makes it so difficult. Beyond a deep shadow lies a bright light, and vice versa. Readers reply to my posts with positive messages of encouragement. Of course, people discuss my work on review sites and message boards, but the people who contact me directly are usually fans with an interest in rising authors, though I suppose the fact that I don't have enough exposure to have haters yet is probably isn't a good thing. Okay. See? He wants the same superficial thing that he criticizes other people for. He wants success. He wants to be as revered as Dostoevsky. I hope the next volume sells me enough to get publicly slammed. Anyway, I do get plenty of DMs from girls too, you know. He's like trying to show the fact that he's not a total loser to us. He does care about our perspective. People who secretly send me direct messages in the hopes of using me somehow for their own advantage, mostly women. This in turn fuels the jealousy of their peers who have nothing special for them. If I show any interest in return, I'll be lambasted as only being in it for the women. But the true greats turn their messy romantic troubles into literature, right? Osamu Dazai and Sakaguchi Ango were womanizers. Not that they would listen to reason. I've got game too, though. I got a DM from a girl who wants to meet up. Going by her account, she seems to be a fairly cute university student model who has aspirations of becoming a VTuber. This is something I don't understand. I don't understand why beautiful people want to become VTubers. I guess it's just fun, but I feel like you could have a much more understood career if you tried to become a proper idol. You know what I mean? I think you'd be much more respected if you were a face idol than if you were a VTuber. She looks average enough to me, but her selfies get plenty of likes and she has about 3,000 followers. She's into alternative stuff, so she messaged me because she emotionally connected with my work. Well, I'll be damned. It could be interesting to take a peek inside her head and use it as inspiration for my work. I haven't responded yet. He just wants to use her. Finally, to play the part of the broke student, I have a part-time job, working the night shift at a convenience store. That's all I felt up to. The store is surprisingly quiet, though. Quiet at night. Though it's comparatively good time of day. The work itself is strenuous. Every day I find myself wanting to punch the manager in the face. The only reason convenience store managers come across the nation are still alive is because night shift pay is slightly higher. That's why I haven't killed him. We might be killing him. Let's take a peek through the customers, shall we? I like observing them from behind the register. There can be something almost childishly innocent about the patrons who come here at night. Oh, like I mentioned before, my ability isn't something convenient as telepathy. Or is a form of synesthesia, and I do need a certain amount of information for it to work. But I can hazard a decent guess from observing their actions and body language. It's only a few conversations that I start to see the deeper. That's why I don't like to get close to people. I can't help it though. I'm already in their minds. Okay, so we have high schooler looking, flashily dressed hostess, and an old man. Let's peek inside the old man head. No, let's peek inside a freaking high schooler's head. I bet he's a runaway. Curfew ends at 4 a.m., so until then, he evades the eyes of the law by drifting around the stores that are open into the early hours. Let's go into Viko's head. You don't want to do that. Full of evil stuff. Oh no, old man. We'll watch the old man last, actually. I want to know. He could pass for 18, but it's always better to err on the side of caution. Not that I have any intention of turning him in. I bear no ill will. It's not like he's shoplifting or anything. There's a dumb dropout who often works the same shift as me, and I don't want this kid to head toward the same future. I'm happy to let him browse for a while. It'll liven things up a bit. Okay, so he can be nice to people. Well, I don't think he's actively, constantly like, you're disgusting and I hate you and I think you're pathetic. I think he tries to play the part of a normal guy for the most part. She's clearly a hostess. I mean, you can tell from how she's dressed. Maybe she doesn't work at a hostess bar specifically, but she definitely works at the red light district. There's a delicate soul wrapped in those flashy clothes. I guess she's here for condoms or cigarettes. She flits in on her break, then disappears again into the neon world. There you go. She's picked up a pack of well, at least she's not one of those chicks who's obsessed with hosts. How do I know that? Hosts always have on them. They look out for number one. This is all just speculation, of course. A man has to entertain himself when he works a night shift. Yeah, you're just making up stories about these guys. This old guy is a regular. I would love to learn his perspective on what he thinks of people who are in these kinds of positions. He didn't really go into it too hard. Whether or not he finds it a negative thing or a positive thing to be working in these kinds of positions. But I think it'll help us understand his perspective on what it's like to be alive and human connection if we learn more about it. This old guy's a regular. He's always pissed off about something. If the cashier is too slow bagging his purchasers, he'll curse them out. Despite that, he buys a ton of candy. Both his work life and home life are falling apart. After his night shift ends, he fills the basket with carbs so he can eat his stress away. His body has expanded with his sedentary lifestyle, and he's transforming into a lump of flesh that disgusts his coworkers and families. My dad's the same. Gluttony is the most convenient sin. Even a complete idiot can stuff themselves. That's what idiots do. It's a lack of self-control. To be human is to restrain one's desires. That's rationality. We aren't beasts to be controlled by our instincts. That's interesting perspective. The streets are so deserted this late at night. I feel a certain closeness with the strangers glimpsed from the corner of my eye. You know how it is. But even as I hold myself apart, I'm like these people, like that dropout co-worker I mentioned before. One's surroundings reflect one's own nature. I too am a character in the setting. Exactly, see? He understands. I'll be making my exit shortly though, now that I have my prize money and royalties. Sadly, oh, so he feels like he's exiting this lifestyle. I shall be tendering my resignation, living this liminal space where an hourly rate of 1450 yen, a teenager can work a 10-hour shift and earn more money than they ever imagined. This place is like life's waiting room. But it's time to leave. I'm determined to move forward to my future. Serves you all right. And that's how I spend my days. I hate humanity, and I hate this world. Especially since my sickly little sister was born. She went through a lot before she stabilized, and now we siblings are in a world of our own. The Hana was born 1,000 times smarter than the average person. She's a genius. She's far too advanced for her elementary school, so she stopped going. Since my elementary school days, I've always thought deeply on the question such as, why are people so cruel? And what determines what's wrong or right? What's right or wrong? The more I thought, the more distant I grew from other people until I started to see inside their heads. Once my mother asked me, "Why don't you like school?" When I asked her if the other moms thought less of her because her kid was a loner, she screwed up her face in disgust and called me a little demon. But if I'd asked the question in good faith, I'd heard the concern buzzing behind her words, and I'd simply wanted to help. Okay. More perspective on this guy. You're still awake, Oni-chan? Sahara! The sound of my sister's voice, I finally become aware of the time. Nighttime is for sleeping, you know? Middle of the night. The witching hour. When the whole world slumbers, except for me. I feel bad for keeping Sahana up too. But I don't think she minds. Since neither of us goes to school, the time kept by those in the outside world doesn't really apply to us. There's no point in forcing ourselves to adhere to the logic of a world of which we are not part. Sahana only mentioned the time as a conversation starter, but she wants me to pay attention to her. Twisted as we may be, she still wants us to play at being a happy family. Plus, kids find it fun to be up late when everyone else their age is tucked in bed and getting a good night's sleep before school the next day. They follow their parents' and teachers' orders, going to school even though they'd rather not, already being conditioned into wage slavery as they learn to wake up in the dawn. It's idiotic. They have no idea how much quieter and more enjoyable the world is at night. So proud of my sister when I compare her to those drones. She'll happily point out her brother's unhealthy habits while having no intention of going to school herself. Mii-chan, you're mocking people in your head again, aren't you? Yes, he is. No, I'm not. Actually, I was thinking of how proud I am of you. Okay, you justify yourself by looking down on people who live normal lives. No, I don't. And even if I do think along those lines, I'm not looking down on people. I'm just stating facts. See? He's totally looking down on people. You'd be lost without me. That goes both ways. We're two shut-ins together. One of us left. He's just stating facts. It's true. It's true. But he's also making up stories about people. Right now, I don't think he has some supernatural ability. I think he believes he does, and then the thing that he did to that guy was somebody who was already struggling, and he just put the final nail in the coffin, you know what I mean? He pushed him over the edge by saying things. Or it could be that he tells himself that the guy threw himself out the window and he actually pushed him out because his sister started crying. These fictional stories are also facts and logic. Obviously, I know better than everybody else in this world. We can say we're alive in a world with only each other? I don't know. But we're living more than we would be if we were completely alone, I think. Though only barely. But I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that too. I'll always be here. My sister is always cynical, yet always so earnest. She's such a weird girl, but that's fine. If she were normal, she'd probably hate her older brother. Plus, she'd be up in the daytime and going to school. She'd set some awful alarm, and it'd wake me up too. But because she'd be the good girl doing what she was supposed to do, my complaints would be irrelevant. That's how neurotypicals exclude people like us before they even notice us. Those cruel, cruel people. We're just committing slow suicide together, aren't we, Oni-chan? Hi, welcome back. Playing a visual novel this time. Content warning, it's pretty intense and dark. She's cute! She's very cute. This is gonna be a very yappy stream, by the way. Just wanted to let you know. I don't speak Japanese. Uh-oh. I think he called it duha. The truth and the foundation of the Buddha's teaching. It means that life is suffering. Nope, dukkha. Dukkha? Okay, I feel like there was more information there that I wasn't told. Like there's more. Whoa, Buddha! I'm a fan of Buddhism. I see it as a religion of resignation. It's like, this is the way the world is, get used to it. Things are never going to go how you want them to. Suffering is the core of life. Any moment without pain is a bonus. You live with the assumption that nothing will go as planned, finding happiness in the rare occasions when it does. Uh-oh. But I hate the kind of people who spout nonsense about living without expecting anything from other people. They're liars. We can see it in the color of their emotions. They just want to show it off, acting like they know all about suffering and truth, but deep in their eyes, you can see it. They still believe other people. Goes off, hee hee. That's okay, this is gonna be a sleepy stream. Don't worry about it. And on YouTube, you can say the word. You can say the word. It's not immediately gonna get you. I'm not like showing live leak footage here. I'm playing a video game. It's not the same, don't worry. Age restricted, yeah. But the game has a category on YouTube, which means all of the warnings apply. Holy social commentary. Yeah, this guy, okay, to explain what we see about him right now, he's a person who struggles with social interaction, right? Because he feels as though he is at the bottom of the pecking order of society. He views himself as the lowest of the low because he can't interact correctly with people, which isn't true. I don't think so. I think the lowest of the low people are people who enjoy inflicting suffering on those who cannot defend themselves. Letters N and L. Could we make it NVL? We could. Northern Lion. But he also believes that he can see truths about people. I don't know how true or not that's going to be. We're going to see how freaking in-depth this game is going to be about this narrator, because I believe that he's going to be super unreliable. His perception is that this world is corrupt and then there's only suffering for you to have, which isn't true. I think being alive is just being alive. I don't think you're born to suffer, because you could just as well say you're born to be happy, because you experience happiness in life and there's also suffering sometimes with it. He views himself as a person who has the biggest mindset, like he's the biggest brain. He views himself as the person who watches, who knows everything about society and the world. But he's also playing into the same things that he complains about. A person who feels like they're smarter than they are. You know what I mean? And then he also has some really terrible, at least right now, it seems that he's so stuck in his own head he can't comprehend the fact that people are more complex than what his perceptions are of them. At least from what I'm seeing here. And he's also kind of a terrible guy to women. I mean, if your average person could achieve enlightenment that easily, there'd be no need for Buddhism, would there be? Would there? Sorry. So long as you're alive, you'll always be suffering. That's just the way it is. I read a book by a famous psychiatrist. After delving into so many minds, this doctor apparently concluded that the moments of peace or joy were rare and fleeting among the harsh realities of life. Really gives you hope, right? Everyone is suffering. Now, I'd really rather not, but it's time I made some human connections in this crappy world. Living is inextricably tied to relationships, and so I'm going to power forward while I have even a little motivation. See, this is good. He is trying to better himself. When you read too much philosophy, yeah, he's a big fan of existentialism and things like that. And he's also very clearly struggling with a lot of forms of depression, like a lot of mental health issues, which makes him feel like this world is out to get him. But it's just, it's not. At the very least, I am of the perspective that it's not. I have a similar mindset that, like, you don't really have a purpose in this world, but that's something that's wonderful, because it doesn't mean that you have to you have to worry about fulfilling something in specific. You are a little tiny fleck of freaking dust in space right now. What does it matter if you're a successful freaking CEO billionaire or if you're living paycheck to paycheck? You're both human, not, just the same, you know? Analysis, Vico, by the way. Oh, thank you. That's very sweet of you. Obviously, there are going to be people who disagree with me, and I think that that's perfectly fine. That's the fun part of these types of visual novels, is the conversations that you get to have about people's perspectives on the world. I try not to be a negative Nelly about everything, because being a negative Nelly, it just kind of contributes to you hating yourself and the world around you. Vico, I need more Vico bucks than the other guy. It's true. The only way to be successful is to get way more hours watching Vico than other people. As much as it pains me, my experience is necessary to sustenance of my creative work. Yeah, definitely. I think that it is true that we are built on social connection and that people need to connect with one another. Love is to suffer. And to live is to enjoy. It's both aspects of that idea. You can't have suffering without joy. Just as how you can't have joy without suffering. You know what I mean? Reminds me of Hachiman from the My Romantic Snafu anime or something. I don't know about this. Now, where shall we go? Is this where I get to have a choice? Whoa. Oh? Monkey, fox, ring, bat, or caterpillar. Interesting. Okay. So it doesn't tell me where I have to go. Okay. Do you guys have something that you prefer? There's a fox spirit covered in jewelry. There is a jewel itself. An engagement ring. A monkey with its brain exposed. A caterpillar. Or a bat. In what looks like a bush of some kind. I want Vico choice. I'm most drawn to the caterpillar. Can I save my game? Save? Yeah. Okay, I guess I don't get to save my game. I'm gonna go to the caterpillar. Because I think this is gonna be something about metamorphosis. I'm a caterpillar, always hungering. I'm a caterpillar, always feeding. The human chair, the caterpillar. Young. Implies there's gonna be a metamorphosis scene. Yeah, something about a person developing into something else. That's what I'm imagining. And I like those kinds of stories about development. Okay, so let me make a save. I wish I saved before. But we're here now. This is gonna be our very first save. Yo, Hasuya. Still haven't fixed your posture, huh? You look like a hunchback. I'm seeing my buddy for the first time in a while. If I described us as bros, it'd give the... Okay. It'd give the impression that we're closer than we really are. It'd be more accurate to see we use each other. Two weirdos together. Get to pretend to be normal. You called him the normalest of the normies. We're sharing the same brain cell. Yeah. Every now and then. He called him the normalest of the normies that ever normed, and now he's like, he's a weirdo who wants to use me to feel normal. These are both. What the heck? What the heck? Every now and then, we get together to hit up the otaku stores. It's been our thing since middle school, but now that we're at different universities, our interests have drifted apart, and we only hang out every few months or so. Still, our connection has proved resilient, so I suppose in the end we really are bros. Nice to see you. You haven't changed, Igusa. Igusa. This is what he looks like. This illustrator is incredible. I really like their work. From my perspective, he's matured with shocking ease into a nerdy student with no particular special qualities. That's such a great way to think about your friends. He plays latest mobile games, occasionally buys merch, talks about anime du jour, sometimes does a little gaming. There was a time where he was no more passionate about the stuff, but with the pressure of completing his dissertation and job hunting, he started to talk more about real life stuff than fiction. Basically, he's hiding out his college chrysalis, soon to emerge a corporate drone. Interesting. So this is the metamorphosis he sees. He sees somebody with potential developing into something useless. Kind of like that. Not useless, but you know what I mean. He sees him as a drone rather than an individual. One last hydrate for everyone. Thank you, Shadow. Good night. Thank you. Okay. Okay, buddy. I like the fact that we're kind of just staring at his crotch. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Sorry, Igusa. Hope you don't find it weird. From his point of view, he'll have his fair share of struggles, but from an outside perspective, I'm sure it'll be smooth sailing. I think it's interesting that he critiques this guy for not being more passionate about, like, anime and otaku content. Huh? Sister Other Paranoia, thank you so much for checking out the game. I hope you're enjoying it. Hi! Hi, Z! Thank you so much. I am enjoying it. We're having a lot of yaps about the game right now. I'm having a lot of, like, that's cool. It's really cool. We're having a lot of analysis conversation here. I hope you understand. I'm enjoying it, even when he's being a little bit of a jerk to other people. That's what the caterpillar is representing. Yeah. He'll start working while grappling with the tension between personal fulfillment and the daily grind. He'll earn a decent salary and get into a decent relationship. The next natural step will be marriage, and then he'll do his best to raise kids in a somewhat stable home, ultimately passing his hopes and dreams to the next generation. So cool! I've never had a developer stop by before. This is so cool! Wow! That's not necessarily a bad thing, but to a creative person, normality is the enemy. Though there's no malice in them, the banal word... Banal... I don't know how to pronounce that word. But I know what it means. All I can see is you staring at his crotch. This is important analysis. We have to pay attention to his crotch. It tells us a lot about his character. When I joined my university's literature club with a serious focus on writing, I couldn't hide my scorn at the way they acted like writers with a capital W. Most people have a fleeting dream of being an author at some point in their lives, but 99% of them never achieve it. Igusa, of course, was silently bidding I'd give up to pursue a real career. That's a really interesting perspective. I'm certain that he probably struggles with jealousy too. I'm here to confess that I'm a very jealous person. I get jealous of things too. I think it's normal. Jealousy drives motivation to hopefully try and work harder. But, you know, that's the type of person you are. When he wished me good luck, there was no sneer hidden behind those words. He did, though, expect to make jokes at my expense later whenever I grew bored of creative life. A pretty typical mindset. Interesting. Interesting. What the heck? Why is it so dark? The lights. How did that turn out for him? There's something awkward about him today. While he leers at an anime girl keychain in a otaku shop, he's surreptitiously gauging my reaction. In my presence, his actions resemble a caterpillar's, crawling, wriggling grotesquely around the ground. Maybe he wants you to buy it for him? His mind is overcast. And superiority complex is a fricked up combo. It definitely is. It's this mindset of, why did they get it? I deserve it more. When the mindset should be, wow, I'm jealous that this person was able to achieve it. I hope I can achieve it as well. I have to see what's going on, you know? I don't know. The average person is easily swayed by power and authority. To a regular college guy with job-hunting worries on his mind, a published author who won debut prizes, in terms of hierarchy, up in the stratosphere, inferiority, jealousy, envy, it all blends together in a confusion of murky emotion, a sludgy, dirty gray, like when you mix together all the paints in your palette. He's fallen into his stagnant murk. You'd think upon seeing his friend again after so long, he'd greet me with congratulation on my achievement, but he couldn't do it. His blended pride and guilt torment him over his inability to celebrate his friend's new start. The disparity between his emotional turmoil and his attempts to act natural remind me of a caterpillar's wiggling, twisting walk. It's really awesome how you think about your friend, man. This is exactly how I like to think about my friends too. What anime have you been watching lately, Igusa? Anime? Oh, you know, this and that. He's being vague. His emotions are shifting into fear. Desperate to protect his own self-esteem, he breaks into a cold sweat. He's afraid to voice his thoughts on anime and manga, to reveal his preferences to an author. He dreads coming across as shallow or leaving a vulgar impression. How about you, Hasaya? I'm more into books these days. Yeah, figured. You're an author now, after all. The sense of invincibility felt by university students is a complex thing. You've graduated high school and officially become an adult. You're tasting freedom for the first time. The web of your relationship grows. You can stay out past 10 p.m. without getting yelled at. You can drink and smoke on your own discretion. It's like that feeling you get in an RPG after you finally finish the long freaking tutorial, when a map opens up and the entire world is to explore. It's true. I love not being a teenager anymore. I love not being a teenager. I love not being a baby. I love not having curfews. I love being able to stay up when I want. I love being able to go to the store and buy what I want to eat. I love being able to spend my money on merch and things like that. It's really fun. I love it. He must have felt like he could do anything. He must have been deeply wounded to discover the vast gulf between the sense of power and freedom and the realities of life. Freedom breeds inequality. The popular kids breeze through life. The gap between him and his peers widens. He goes on social media. He finds some guy he remembers as fellow outcast who has gone viral with his shorts. All the while, his insecurities and biases grow relentlessly. relentlessly hollow out his still developing soul. Igusa is desperately trying to prevent his pride from taking a beating. Up until now, he's had the upper hand between us, being the one looking for a real job. In comparison, I was the wannabe writer working the night shift at a convenience store if my books never went anywhere. I'd be cast out into the world and left to rot in a dead-end part-time jobs. By then, Igusa would be moving forward as a gainfully employed member of society. Isn't that bad after all? It really isn't. It really isn't. Back. Welcome back! I barely read any hint of self-confidence from him. There's an anxiety, like he's trying to convince himself of his own validity. It's not too loud, by the way, the audio, right? I worry. Okay. Okay. That's what it's like to be a waste of space. And at the same time, a sense of relief. At least I'm doing better than Hasia, damned to part-time help forever. In the hierarchy of fellow failures, being able to scrape by as an office pleb becomes a form of identity. Basically, he's freaking out because the tables have turned, and he's no longer the one looking down on me from his safe space. That's unfortunate if that's the relationship you guys have. Fuck. Once our excruciating hike through the otaku shops is over, we head to a cafe. Igusa starts conspicuously vaping, and his confidence increases slightly. Seems like he wanted to show off that, yeah, he's a student and he can do this kind of thing. A gray haze, fainter than the chaotic brain of it. Fog of his emotions clouds my visions. Perhaps feeling that he has the edge now, he finally broaches the main topic. So how does it feel being a big shot author? He's still not fully over it. Adding that snarky big shot is him trying to make himself feel better by taking a dig at me. This is true. I can definitely see that. Acting like I don't have talent to warrant the respect. He's still trying to convince himself that my prize win was a fluke. He might even be right. After all... Hi! I was excited to see this one too. Yeah. Vigo was talking about how excited he was for the game before it released. Yeah, I've been following it ever since it was announced. I'm very excited. I'm even in the Discord. But I didn't play the demo because I wanted to go in no spoilers. None spoilers. So I could end up a one-hit wonder. I'm still a newcomer, a baby who's taken one small step. Still, from the perspective of your average otaku, it's more like a giant leap to the moon. Yeah, blind playthrough. I like doing blind playthroughs because I think it's really fun to experience it with chat. Or have chat be excited to see me experience moments that they know about. Pretty sure winning the debut prize was just a fluke. Pretty rough, to be honest. I don't know what I'm gonna do about the sequel. Pretty sure winning the debut prize was just a fluke. No, man, you got this. You got that special something, you know? When I play it down, he's obviously relieved, at least in terms of interactions. When he gets to play the good friend calming the nervous newbie, I feel like he's a step above me. Is life constant repetition of these charades? Hey, you're the one who writes those long, passionate posts where you get all philosophical about the realitat of moe anime. Actually, that reminds me, my lit club's putting out a zine soon. Why don't you contribute something? Are you serious? No way. I can't submit something like that. I just write whatever pops into my head in a moment. Dude, this guy might be me. I love talking about moe anime. It's so fun. I really enjoy slice of life stuff and cute girls having fun. He's right about that. His posts are slapdash trash, not even worthy of polite praise. Okay. Okay. His posts are, still, people online are probably impressed by their sheer length. People like to go herring off new pursuits, and this dabbling shoves their face into their own limitations. Through this process, they transform. His posts are cobbled together from the provocative opinions found on clickbait news sites. Whether you're gushing over something or tearing it apart, any extreme position garners reaction. And some people did respond to his essays, giving him a tiny taste of success. The good thing about Igusa is that he's content with that. He won't get delusions of grandeur and start writing more biased pieces, seeking praise from people who already agree with him. He's nothing if not a coward. He chose a college degree and a workaday life so as to not stray from the societal herd. You're a lucky guy, Hasia. Girls are gonna be throwing themselves at you at Lit Club. Depressingly, a university student's every passion seems to boil down to rah-rah. He wants to see whether I'll steal a march on him and be the first of us to get a girlfriend. But it's one thing for him to accept that my talent has been rewarded. It's another more terrifying prospect for his friend to taste that delicious fruit before him. Whoa, college guy. Realizing that your friend is more attractive to the opposite sex is a crushing defeat. He's really thinking about it a lot. MC loves Russians and this guy is the only friend. Him being a Vico works out. He's praying that I at least won't be hit with the ladies. Maybe it's okay for me to send him home with a little taste of that bitterness. It might light a fire under his butt and push him to change. I don't know, I haven't really gotten any of that in the club, but I've had some DMs from e-girls and cosplayers and stuff. Wait, for real? What girls? Are they hot? How many? You devoured that bait. Please try to hide your thirst. I'm not really interested in them, but I can see why they're confident enough to slide into people's DMs. They've got the looks. Seriously, dude? Are we gonna show him? He's genuinely shocked by this revelation. Yeah, he's a complete fool, but it's kind of endearing. He fits the dumb and pure stereotype. Really? I don't know if he's dumb and pure. People don't like being pinned on the wall. They wriggle. Taking another sip. Hey, why don't we meet up on one of them together? Hey, that's definitely not a good move. The stuff filters can do these days, we can see how they compare in reality. You should probably not do that. How sleazy, how vulgar. I agree, I don't think that's pure at all. It seems like a very rude mindset to have. So pathetic, down to the way he casually offers a rationalization for him to meet those girls, as though I can't see right through him. He's still hanging his meager hopes on the belief that he'll have more luck with women than me, thanks to his prospects of stable employment, that I'll come off as a misanthrope, and he'll glow by comparison. Deep down, though, lies even more frivolous wish that he might get to meet a cute girl. Every reaction is exactly as expected. All according to freaking Keikaku. Legal face reveal? I don't look like that guy. He's very handsome, though. Feels at ease when he can look down on someone else. He becomes slavish when he... I thought he was Slavic. No. We've been talking about Russian people too much. But he knows he's been outstripped. A caterpillar, squirming along exactly as programmed. A vile, pathetic caterpillar. Still, here in Japan, there's a reasonable chance that if you put in a reasonable amount of effort, you can be reasonably happy. We all start with a huge advantage by simply by virtue of being born in this country. Count your blessings, Igusa. As you start your new life in your new career and metamorphose into a functioning adult, you'll forget all about me. We're headed down different paths. The only thing I'm sure of is that we need to put a healthy amount of distance between us before we can hurt one another and grow disillusioned. Damn, literary master's life sure is a lonely one. That's silly. He's silly. Can I see? No. Wow, Sahara! Got an even stranger look on your face today, Oni-chan. Really? I can't tell. What do I look like to you? Kind of like you have a guilty conscience. What's that supposed to mean? Be more concrete. You met up with your friend today, didn't you? Yeah. I'm guessing he was weird about you becoming a published author. Kinda, yeah. It takes a lot for someone in his position to offer sincere congratulations. Did it make you feel good to see him score? Can you read minds now? Hehe, I'm playing at being you. You're the one who enjoys deciding what other people are feeling. Deciding! Language. Important language. This is saying his perceptions, he thinks that I can't really call myself an author. Guess not. But your book is published and available nationwide. That's proof of some level of recognition. Not enough for a second printing. I'm in the red now. I'm just a burden on the publisher. Still, your talent is being recognized, and that's amazing. Devious schemes. It almost feels like he wants to be, like, comforted by his sister. Like he's going like, I'm a failure and I hate myself. Tap my head, Sahana. Tell me that it'll all be okay. Talent is being recognized, and that's amazing. It's nice while it lasts. Adults sure have it rough. I'm sure the time will come when it's your turn to feel inferior to your friend. You never know where life will take us. I like her perspective. I don't care about other people. Suppose that's relatively true. I talk about loaded phrasing. Well, for as long as we're alive, we'll always be fighting against other people in our heads. True. Ah, it's so nice. I also love her music. Her music is so nice. Okay, Oni-chan. It's okay. You'll be okay. See? He wants to be comforted by her. Okay, let me... Save. Save. Whoa! She's so cute. Wait, no, don't cry! Is this the scene that caused trouble for us in the first place? Or is this her crying now? Okay. We talked with the caterpillar. So we can go spend more time with Igusa. Okay. There's a bat. There's a monkey with its brain exposed. There's a diamond ring, and there's a fox spirit. Okay. I feel like the monkey with the brain exposed is gonna be a lot of him hating on the person. I'm torn between the bat and the fox. I bet the fox is gonna be a girl. I think he's gonna meet up with the girl that he was talking about, the one that he found kind of cute. Or not kind of cute, the one that he found to be average but wanted to meet up with to get content for his novel. I think I'm most drawn to the bat. Not spend more time with him. Repeat the scene you just did. Oh, I thought I would bring in a new one. Critics are men who watch the battle from a high place, then come down and shoot the survivors. Ernest Hemingway. Listing. Okay. Batman. Maybe we will meet Batman. I can't adequately express how much I don't want to go to Lit Club. Wow, to the Lit Club. The song is a jam, to be honest. I don't want to go to Lit Club, but I can't stay away forever. I have connections to maintain here at uni, few and far between as they are. As a member of this pack of petty-minded pedants, and expected to show up and submit pieces to their anthropologies. Being published light novel author, I have a reputation to think of. The last thing I want to do is people going online to snipe at me. Look at Mr. Bigwig over there. He dropped the Lit Club like a hot potato the minute it got published. Participating in events is part of the parcel of being in a Lit Club, but it doesn't mean I have to like it. The one currently giving me grief is called Bunge Furima, the literary flea market. So this is the event. It's the bookworm version of Nerd Convention. People show off their novels and essays and collections. It's about as interesting as watching paint dry. But it has its fair share of fans. And the attendance keeps growing year after year. You'd be surprised by how packed the place can get. Again, it's not like the average nerd convention. There's a feeling in the air that's difficult to capture in words. It's what makes the place a treasure trove of rare, niche pieces of literature. The only problem is the people, large groups of people that are subject to complexities of the human relationships, especially between the lust, the need for validation. I hesitate to call it a subculture. A literature nerd lacks the straightforward simplicity of his anime counterpart. So gathering of them becomes a royal of turbulent emotions. Litfully is more than a popularity contest for the big-name authors anyway. And in that respect, I guess it's no different from any other nerd convention. Okay. What is my thought? I had a thought and now it's gone because I forgot it because I moved. I had a thought and now it's gone. Oh. I think one of the things that make it hard for me to relate to these types of characters is their attachment to this mindset of at the center of everything. Do you know what I mean? Lust at the center of everything. I personally don't really find it all that fulfilling or interesting to pursue those kinds of relationships, just for me. I think it's interesting to discuss the perspectives these people have, but I don't really find it as something that is compelling to me, so it's hard for me to understand their perspectives on it as the thing that makes the world go round, because it doesn't make my world go round. So it always is like a weird reminder to me that so many people truly do mostly think about that in their life. So it makes it a little bit difficult, you know? Because to me, this isn't what life is about at all. This isn't what I see when it comes to people, but it is true that a lot of people find fulfillment in that. It's more than a popularity contest for the big-name authors anyway, and in that respect, I guess it's no different from any other nerd convention. I'm sure some attendees have genuine literary ambitions. My club, though, pardon my bluntness, we're simply playing pretend. We hack together a shabby short story collection and try to pass it off as this hodgepodge of words as literature. Why? Because we can. I don't know who would even want to read this crap. Take the money and go buy a volume of the latest hit manga. Don't waste it on a patchwork of scribblings by wannabe amateurs barely out of high school. I think there's values in those perspectives, especially because the fact that when it's straight out of high school, it's the current generation's mindset on this world, right? There's a lot of value about the societal expectations. Also, this is probably not intentional, but this looks like a person here, doesn't it? It looks like a person. Like, this is the head, and this is the shoulders. I don't think that that's intention, but that's just me seeing stuff. It's a means to hype ourselves up or put each other down. We tried, and trying is half the battle. That almost makes us real authors, we tell ourselves, coddling our collective wounded pride as we keep copies into the hands of our close friends and family. We keep hoping that maybe, just maybe, a brilliant editor will stumble upon us and lift us up out of the gutter. There's maybe a less than 0.1% chance of that happening, but maybe, we say, maybe. This time, however, the power dynamic is all askew. See, I'm a published author now. Of a single book, yes, but so what? That's enough to draw out a handful of my fans, curious to see what this rising star has put out next, which should move some product. It doesn't mean much, but ultimately... It doesn't mean much ultimately, but when you have numbers and a publishing contract on your side, you're the king of the literature club. Sorry. I freaking love that game. I love Doki Doki Literature Club. It's so fun. Also, chat, I'm gonna be right back for a second. I need a pee. And then we'll continue. Pee time over. Okay, I'm coming in. Hello. Pause. Pause. Pauses the music. I am pausing the music. Wow, how, how. Okay. Let's go. Okay. A shame I've never liked being king. It'd be one thing if my clubmates were supportive, if they could tolerate anyone but them having a scrap of talent. I wonder what his perspective would have been if he had a person in his club who was a successful author as well. Would he respect them if they were... Sorry? Hold on. Okay. Sorry, Vico. It's okay. I notice when I get DMs and I need to complete it immediately. I wonder what his perspective would be if he had a person in his club who was a successful author. I wonder if the author didn't have the same viewpoint as him, would he view them as only successful because they resonate with the general public for some reason? Would he also fall into that jealousy that he critiques his clubmates for? Or would he be able to recognize the value in different perspectives? Okay. I just hate it. Hi! Please don't point out view count. I don't really like seeing that kind of stuff. Thank you though, I appreciate it. I'm just a simple wisp. It's okay. I understand. I hate it, hate it, hate it. I hate their envy. The most noxious of all human emotions. Makes sense. Burp. Sorry. Hey, yeah. There's zero energy in the club room. But what else is new? We're all here because we have nowhere else to go. The only time we pretend to be proper literature club is when we have an event looming over our heads. The rest of the time, we just sit around jawing away in the name of literacy criticism. At first, we function like a book club, all of us reading the same books and convening to discuss them. Before long, though, we're separated. Oh, the bat is gonna be the guy in this club who hates us. I see, I see. Before long, though, we separate into two camps. Those who gave a crap and those who don't. It's hardly surprising. Literature clubs are a haven for people who don't want to be alone and can't be blooded to be social. I wouldn't bellyache so hard if the others would put in effort, but they don't. They wouldn't know effort if it bit them. There's just one guy who actually cares. One upperclassman who possesses something like a spine. Who is this guy? Well, look who the cat dragged in. Hasiya-kun. Hello, Hiyakawa-senpai. How's the new light novel going? It's going. I'm not a girl. I'm a ghost boy from hell. My job is to stay at the part of hell you go to. And also, I want to play games that I enjoy, you know? If I play... Do you know what I mean? My goal is to connect with people who enjoy the same things as me. It's going. That's Hiyakawa-san. He's in a year ahead of me, a third year. Check out the Death Glare. What an ugly son of a gun. Okay, he's got the personality to match too. Not that I have room to talk on either count. I hope that means you're making progress. It wouldn't do to keep your readers waiting while you finish your lit flea submission. Sarcastic jerk. Again, not that I have room to talk. You know what he brought that up? He's scoping me out. He's eager to hear that I failed. He wants to reassure himself that my first success was just a fluke, a flash in the pan. He's clinging to his position at the top. Hi. They're going to make out in 4 hours. Toxic yaoi? I don't know. We'll see. Could he find anybody but Russian women attractive? Okay. So what if he won a rookie award, author award? He's a one-hit wonder. He wants to reassure himself that my first success was just a fluke, a flash in the pan. He's clinging to the position at the top of his little hierarchy by whispering doubt in every ear. Things weren't so bad before my book came out, and I sure didn't ask him to feel threatened by me, but here we are, until I came along and ruined everything. Our club was all people who stood a snowball's chance in the hell of getting published. Once he could base his ego on the supposition that he understood literature better than the rest. Now that there's me hanging around, my mere existence and thumbing its nose in him and asking, "Where's your rookie author award?" You'd never hear me actually say that, of course. That would be next level pathetic. It would be. It would be really mean and evil to be like, I see you're a loser and I'm not. Get over it, idiot. I don't like that either. I think it's bad. Wow. Hey. Publishing a single book is small potatoes anyway. But the average enterprising 20-something wannabe, the distinction between being published and unpublished is night and day. Senpai tries to hide how much it bothers him, but he feels it in his bones. He's a failure. I feel bad for him, but I'm not some bleeding heart. He's obnoxious, plain and simple. It'd be one thing if he could write worth a damn, but all he does is skulk around in the club room. Hi. Small potato, yeah. Hello, potato. Plain and simple. It'd be one thing if he could write worth a damn, but all he does is skulk around in the club room and internet message boards playing Pundit. He latches onto whatever is in the limelight and nitpicks it apart. Good critique is easy to spot. If it engages with the text, it's good critique. Most morons go hunting for what's not in the text, and that's the point. And that point, it's quibbling for the sake of quibbling. Anyone with a keyword can say, it lacked something, and I didn't get what they were going for. A real critique addresses the text for what it is. Why did the author write XYZ? How does that connect to ABC? You'll never get that from people like Hiyakawa-senpai, obsessed with the elements that aren't there. Literary value of a critique is born from the critic's understanding of the text, and he doesn't even form one. He's terrified that someone will blow this whole thing wide open and reveal that he can't critique to save his life. I like the music. It's peak. You mean the furry anime BNA? I did enjoy BNA. BNA was really fun. I think it was good. It was just a little bit rushed. Brand new day. Oh, Spider-Man. He read my debut novel and took it upon himself to offer me heaps of criticism, as any good senpai should. Was he wrong about any of it? No. And that's the frustrating part. Yeah, I left a lot of Oxford constructs in my text. Yeah, my over-reliance on metaphor ruined several key tenets of the work. The emotional arcs were too abrupt, and my purple prose was a dead giveaway that I'm a first-time writer. Even I blushed over that during the reread. He wasn't wrong. A big part of me wanted to ask, fine, but then how come I won the debut award? But I already know what he'd say. I'm good at catering to the illiterate masses. I think that he's gonna the reason why he dislikes this guy so much, why they both dislike each other, is because they're so similar. They're both so similar. I think that this is that classic moment of you met a person who's like yourself, so you dislike them. Because you dislike yourself. Wow, dude. Extreme language. It's no wonder this talentless hack can't pump out a sequel. You're not wrong. Things are going slow right now. I'm looking forward to taking a break with the short story for Litfleet. Short stories make a perfect measure between longer works. Remember, people will seek us out just to read your story. Try not to let the club down, will you? I'll do my best. But you should give yourself more credit. I, for one, can't wait to see what you produce. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't write for a light novel audience. Not like you. He says, as though he doesn't care for light novels. Pretty illustration. The thing is, this guy, he collects waifus. I think the snobbery is about light novels being substandard lit is a new thing for him. He's just doing everything in his power to hold together his crumbling pride. Yeah, he probably is. He's directing the film of his own life, and I'm cast as the cocky upstart, privileged with the power to churn out a light novel slop. He's starring as the literary genius awaiting discovery by the masses, and he won't let a single thing like reality get in the way. Okay, well, if we critique that mindset of his, or if we talk about that mindset of his, we can see is his teeth cricket? I like characters with cricket teeth and think they're cool. Blah 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 blah. He'll never get recognition, right? Because if Hasiya is the one who's writing for the masses, then he'll never connect with the masses if he can't connect with Hasiya's work, right? And be a powerful hater couple? I think that they would be a terrible hater couple. They would constantly be jerks to each other. Just the lines of the canines and pre-canines. I don't know, but I like the way it looks. I like these teeth. That's the funny thing about people. We're capable of convincing ourselves of the most ridiculous things to safeguard our egos, and over time, the lies become foundational to our identity. It starts off as self-defense mechanism, anything to avoid the harsh wake-up call that is reality, and eventually transform into pure conceit. Someday, I'll be one of the literary greats. It just hasn't happened yet. I'm not saying it's bad to have a competitive streak. I wouldn't complain half as hard if Senpai wrote anything with any impact, or even if the critiques he litters around the internet with he litters the internet with had a gram of insight in them. Alas for us all, he doesn't, and they don't. He really doesn't like this guy. He may be a competent reader, but he goes on to make his whole... He may be a competent reader, but he goes on to make it his whole identity. It must be torture to go through life as an utter snob. He's also a philosophy major. Need I say more? Sorry, philosophy nerds. As if you're not also a philosophy nerd. Come on, Hasia. He digs deep into his bag of tricks to convince his fellow members in the poser posse that he has so much more rudity than they are. Through a Heideggerian layers. That's not exactly Lacanian. You'd understand if you read The Critique of Pure Reason. Wrap up with a random rant bashing Alderian psychology, and to the uninformed masses, you know everything. You can see why I have to cut him down to his size. He's too freaking annoying. Like I said, I look forward to seeing what you come up with. Right back at you. Don't go tarnishing your industry credentials now. Industry credentials? My god, man, we're in college. But enough wasting oxygen on him. I actually do need to lock in and make headway on my lit flea submission. Like Hayakawa-senpai, I hope to cultivate a reader base that won't knock a short story just for its length. Plus, I figure a published author's piece is a university writing club anthology. And a university writing club anthology could be cool collectible someday. It'll probably fetch a premium. And if I make it big someday, with anime studios lining up to adapt my work and all. Look at me getting ahead of myself. I'm acting like a kid. I think it's okay to daydream. Perhaps I'll look up to Hiyakawa-senpai's mind and see just how much I riled him up. Are we gonna look into his mind? Oh. Damn that Hasia. He thinks I couldn't make it in the publishing industry. What does he know? I don't write light novels, I write real literature. The standard for getting published is much higher in my field. I'm one of her readers with my rhythmic, Hemingway-esque laconicism. Genuine talent wins every time. Anyone can lower themselves to winning a Rookie Award light novel prize. All that it takes is following the trends. Write your dream girl and ta-da! Instant bestseller. Now if I was to write my dream girl, she'd be a demon girl. One of those misanthropic types. Oh. Give her a face of a fallen angel of a preteen girl, which she'll have a complex about, of course. The slightest brush against her by a mere mortal makes her shudder in horror, unless it's the protagonist. She doesn't mind him. In fact, she... Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. These dweebs, Vico and the Whis. You guys know Tsubora, the story of a novelist? I don't know. I don't know. Please tell me about it. Okay, I need to stop. I'll have no cringe like the inner monologue of a wannabe author. He does have a cute face. I think it's just because the author is just so good at creating art. They're so beautiful. The illustrator is really pretty. It makes really pretty people. Props though. He's at least thinking about his writing. What's your favorite work of Dazai's, Hiyakawa-senpai? Heed my plea. And Akutagawa, the nose. Sakaguchi Ango, the idiot. How about Kanbayashi Chohei? More sci-fi than literary classics, but you know, I'm partial to Tonight I Sip from the Milky Way. Huh, I see. You see what? Nothing. I'm not surprised to hear any of it, is all. He's trying to rile him up. He's trying to be like, you're so predictable. Of course you'd like that. I love messing with him. It almost makes him bearable. What about you? Me? What's your favorite Dazai story? If I had to pick one, I guess Schoolgirl. Huh. Interesting choice. He clearly never read it. He's just enjoying knocking this guy down. See? You're doing the same thing that your friend did. Ooh! Sahana and pigtails! So cute! So, what are you gonna write for your short story, Oni-chan? Good question. Whatever it fills 10,000 characters, I guess. You should write a romance. Hard pass. How come? I don't like romance, and I don't write what I don't like. You really don't like romance? Not even in the literary sense? Nope. That's funny, when you're such a romanticist. Why do you think that? Because you're always writing yourself into the story of your life. Get called out, bro. Hasu got called out by Sahana again. Oh wait. My creative work is motivated by spite. Okay, what? There we go. Motivated by spite. I write as an oblique criticism of everyone else who is able to get through life without resorting to such foolishness. Okay, last one of the night. I think I want to go... I'm very curious to see if this is going to be who I think it is. I want to go with the fox spirit. Let's see. Ooh. One little poppy, burning bright. Watch me, come alight. There, my first star shining in the night. Collected poems of Shuji Terayama. You gotta be careful when it comes to relationship with women. He really doesn't like girls. Especially in today's mutual surveillance society. Treat every bit of personal information and correspondence as though it's public knowledge. In this twisted panopticon, you never know who's watching it and what'll get leaked. The direct messaging feature on most social media platforms is a particularly temperamental beast. Young men and women are engaged in a perpetual struggle. Their objective is to find... It's been a bit, but I've read it... but it's a short manga about a novelist who learned of the death of a fan of his who met him personally. He was the only one of 2 people in her contact list after she jumped. You follow him as he learns about her and his struggles with writing. I was very intrigued by it, but I need to read it again since I was confused by the ending. I can't say it's great or it's bad since I feel like I'd be biased, but it was a very interesting... I was very interested in the story. Long text, didn't think I typed that much, sorry. No, it's okay. That is really interesting. It's always just interesting to see the relationships of artists with the works that they create in the context... Wow, I'm so yappy. It's really fun to see how artists feel about their art when they see the direct consequences of it in this real world. Or the direct connections that it makes. You know? Sounds really interesting. As long as the messages stay private, they let you interact out of sight of prying eyes. Move the conversation to Line or Discord and you've cleared the first hurdle. Screw it up, though, and your head's on the block. Now, any degree of success attracts some amount of attention online. As I mentioned, even my inbox sees its share of traffic. Opportunists looking to stake their claim on an up-and-coming light novel author pour in by the dozens. Well, at least by 2s or 3s. 2 or 3 dozen. That's a good amount of people. Tsubora. But it was this girl who caught my eye. As I said before, I got a DM from a small account saying she loved my work and wanted to meet. I clicked through it and it was typical university-aged e-girl. Hi! Classical literature, famous paintings, gender issues, retro anime, and classy cafes shallowly invoked between a smattering of her fast, moody selfies. She flattered authors who looked on the verge of going viral, no doubt sliding into their DMs the moment they let the attention go to their doors and responded. Now she'd set her sights on me. I figured I'd humor her. I was in the mood for it, I guess, to tread on an exposed bear trap. To step into the life of a woman like this, and yes, to bask in a little adoration. If I could use it in my work, all the better. He's thinking a little bit like how Dazai talked about women in his work. To be clear, I wasn't planning on... Well, or anything. I couldn't have mustered the interest if I tried. Being able to read people's minds makes romance into tedious endeavors, like taking an endlessly long test you already know the answers to. Even mere attraction is a distant dream. Once I realized life is suffering, I lost appetite entirely. Well, I guess I'll go say hi. See? I think 3 to 4 out of the 12 chapters. That's okay. I don't mind. Bye, Sahana. I'll be back soon. This is the first time we acknowledge her when we leave. I'm the first to arrive at our meeting spot. As expected. I'd expected as much. Usually it's the guys who have to take the initiative. The girls are valuable commodity, the ones who can afford to be discriminating. And their scheduling reflects the imbalance. Or maybe I'm just stereotyping. I think you're stereotyping. Hey, Sensei! Sorry I'm late. There she is! We know her. She's one of the characters promoted. I don't want to call her by the title they gave her because I'm a little bit nervous. I wonder what her name is. Her chestnut-hued pigtails bounce brightly. White and blue ribbons flutter. We could make a comment about why she's wearing pale blue and white when we see that is the colors that represent Sahana, right? And we are associating Sahana as everything that's pure with this world, while she's supposed to be like a bitter reflection or a corruption of Sahana's identity. You know? Wouldn't he know everything his sister would say? Wouldn't that also be annoying? Yeah. White and blue ribbons flutter with her hair as they bind, touching her Lolita dress, its skirt drooping like a whipping willow. Passing old-timers gawk at the bosom, emphasizing cut, and the way her short skirt catches the wind, like she was designed in a lab to turn whoa. An exhausting notion. Is the need most people are keenest to hide, much more than its cousins, food and sleep. And they're quick to lie or hide behind pretense whenever it rears its head. As soon as you notice it lurking under the surface, society becomes hell. Everyone's trying so hard to act like they're not secretly very into it. We're all animals, I guess. It makes sense to want to procreate, but I've never gotten quite over my youthful disgust of the idea. Maybe that's why I'm here. I want to prove to myself that I'm above all that I'm better than the rest. Hello there. Botan! Cute. Cute. Hello there. You must be Kenjiko Botan from Hololive? Definitely not from Hololive. That's me. Just call me Botan. You remembered my name. Sensei, I'm so happy. Being called Sensei freely, he's falling for it. He's falling for the thing that he's getting critiqued for. He's critiquing people for. He's like, you guys are all weak-willed idiots. He's instantly falling for it. Being called Sensei feels weirdly nice. At the end of the day, he is human, and we enjoy being liked by other people. Female attention might do nothing for me, but apparently I do like being recognized for my work. How well do you know Ikebukuro? I was thinking I could show you around. Not at all. I don't go outside much, honestly. My family's out in the sticks, and I try to stay away from crowds. And I'll be your guide. Thanks. What a fun activity. Here we are, the beating heart of Ikebukuro. It's really taken over as Tokyo's otaku hub, hasn't it? Akiba's a thing of the past now. I just want to go to Akiba. It so has. It's a total Fujoshi heaven. It's got all the stores, and the collab cafes have great merch lineups. It's developing its own community and culture. Right? Oh, her face is really cute. I like this expression. Physical spaces where young people can share their hobbies have gotten more important in the age of social media. Not that I use them myself, of course. I'm the lone wolf kind of otaku. I've never felt the need to advertise my interests. I like that. I like what I like, but I keep it to myself. I'm not compelled to share my thoughts or impressions with the people around me. Look, they even got an arcade. Gotta milk those gamblers. Oh, Sensei, you don't have to be so sarcastic. Busy here, though. Let's go somewhere quieter. She's a very cute lady. She's very pretty. This old bookshop's one of my favorite spots. What do you think? I have to admit, the place has atmosphere. The selfie with all these books would do numbers on social media, and cast her as an intellectual bookworm to boot. Girls like her love singing out places that play into their image. Maybe I'm being unfairly cynical. There's a simple pleasure in being surrounded by rare books. There is. I think you are okay. I'm certain that his thought process is going to be rewarded in this story, but I don't think that this is a healthy mindset to go through the world with. To assume that all women are just trying to put on a face so other guys will like them is really weird. What kind of books do you like? What kind of books do you like? Want to know about me? That's so sweet of you. Right now, I'm hunting for a rare art book. You're into art? Interesting. But I usually come to places like this to go through old school fashion mat. Oh. That's so sweet of you. Right now, I'm hunting for a rare art book. You're into art? Interesting. But I usually come to places like this to go through old school fashion mags. It's so much fun to see what kind of clothes were cool in the 80s and 90s. What do art and fashion mean to you? It lets you live rather than just exist. He has a very pretty face. It's an interesting answer. I'll make a note of that. It's true. This is true. Art, you're living through art and stuff. The mindset of this game. It's really fun. Make a note of that. Maybe I haven't been giving her enough credit. I guess someone who puts this much effort into her appearance probably would have well-developed opinions about art. Her colors don't seem to be muddled. Take a peek into her heart. Gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna milk this guy for all he's worth. Peer into her thoughts. Oh, I thought we were gonna peer into her heart. Okay. Close off my 5 mundane senses and look with my 6th, an eye that only sees emotion. I feel its focus sharpening. Slowly, the colors of her thoughts and feelings come into view. Hold on. Wow. I want to be dark mode again. Feel its focus sharpening. Slowly, the colors of her thoughts and feelings come into view. The true Tenjiki... Oh my god. The true Tenjiku Botan. The girl behind the mask, behind the username. The real face beneath her meticulous makeup. Actually pretty handsome. Not in an obvious way, but he has a real writerly gloominess to him. Look at those sickly eyes. If I walked around with him, everyone would think I'd netted myself a one-of-a-kind catch. Sure, he's a bit on the misanthropic side, but so are all college guys. All that cynicism's just a shield they protect themselves with, while they look for a way to stand out. A guy like him has more sensitive... His ego. Okay. Broke him there and he's sure to look my way. But that's her deal. She's not trying to use men to raise her profile necessarily. She's just out for validation. A relationship between budding light novel author would be a potent weapon in the e-girl community. But it doesn't... she isn't necessarily lying about being into me or about wanting me to like her. Whoa. The human emotions are complex color gradients, and even what I see is only one point of view of her heart. Her belittling of me and her reverence, her appreciation of my work and her judgment of my appearance, they're all wrapped up together. No one's feelings are a monolith. Be sure to look my way, though. That does pique my interest. You like what he sees? I wonder. Anyone his age would want me, even an otaku trying to act like romance is beneath him. Something tells me Sensei won't be that easy. He's still keeping me at an arm's length. He's playing the aloof genius. A little too hard, I think. It's because he writes light novels. He thinks he can ham it up. Are all writers this way? Like he's wary of me. He looks at me like he's sizing me up. I wonder if he's planning to use me in his writing. It's kind of... I wonder what he'd do if I put the bo. Could give him a glimpse of the... Maybe once we've had a few drinks, I could wrap myself around his arm and lace my fingers through his. Bet he'd loosen up a bit once we got back to a hotel. Everyone does. Holy crap. What? Okay. Well, she's a regular girl in some way. She's indulging her own under the guise of imagining mine, picturing me ravishing her to fantasize about being desperate for her to feel her body's. This mindset is terrible, bro. Hidden under that demure dress is a body burning with passion. But I won't be the one to feel her heat. Fantasy only lasts a moment. By itself, it isn't enough to make her succumb to desire. And if it did, I think revulsion would still win out. She'd be disgusted by what she'd be disgusted that she got so carried away over just another man. She rates her own body too highly for that. Youthful hunger for pleasure clashes with a reluctance to sell herself short. In that sense, she's very much her age. I'm gonna get this one, Sensei. Ugh. It's facts. It's a... Ugh. Here's our last stop, Boten's number 2 favorite Ikebukuro spot. Isn't it adorable? Here it's a replica of a real Czech hotel. It's very fancy, you know? You look right at home in all of this European decor. Oh, wait. It's very fancy. You know, you look right at home in all this European decor. Yay, thanks. She beams. When I pay thoughtful attention to her, she turns surprisingly genuine. She's so pretty! Aw, what a cute illustration. So clean. These lines. So impressive to me when artists can do such clean line work. Let me pour, Sensei. She picks up the teapot, looking fully at peace. Daylight streams through the window, glittering off the fine china and her thin layer of eyeshadow. Chilly outside today, but this should be just the thing. You'll relax so much better when you're all warmed up. Thanks. You succeeded so young that I bet you're struggling in the ways the rest of us can't imagine. Easing those burdens will help your writing. The least I can do, as your fan, is try. Did my book really make that much of an impression? Honestly, I thought it was embarrassingly amateur. I know these are just random girls' thoughts, but it felt so desperate, you know? Like there's all this cynicism everywhere, but when you read between the lines, it's like crying out for affection. I just wanted to pick it up and hug it. I've never felt that way about a book before. That's gratifying to hear. Why would red be the only other vibrant colors? Do you mean these here on the sides? The red blossoms? Be pink. Of course that's how it reads. I'm trapped in an unending hell. My ability to see people's thoughts will bring me pain until the day I die. I wish someone would make it stop. But I won't find relief in others. People can never truly understand each other. The usual compromise is coexisting in ignorance. But my condition means that this isn't an option. The only exception, perhaps, is my family, Sahana. Cheering for you, Sensei? I'll always be cheering for you. Yeah. They're very pink, very gentle. Think around them. Above the waist. Below the waist? I don't get a choice here. No choice. Okay, I don't get to save. My choices are permanent. So, hair. Below the waist, above the waist. Is there anything else? Tea? We can comment on her hair, I guess. I want to not be seen as a creepy freak. They say a girl's hair is an expression of her soul. So the ribbons in Botan's hair must symbolize the veneer of innocence she girds herself in. Her soul rustles as hot tea fills the cup. Every ribbon adds a dash of girliness to its sheen. Okay, wait, so I do analyze her. So, oh, her eyes, her lips. Okay, let's look at her eyes. I love vector images. Her eyeshadow is distinctive, an appealing red with a touch of sultry pink at the edges. I'm sure her naturally lidded gaze has stolen plenty of hearts without even trying. Eye contact is at the heart of communication. Eyes touch, a mood sparks, and you mistake that instantaneous feeling for affection, for love, for friendship. That goes for more than just people. Dogs and cats make eye contact with their own owners too. Gazing into someone's eyes is a sign of trust, an invisible coin between humans. An invisible coin humans have traded since time immemorial. Botan's distinctive eyes surely give her an edge in that crucial establishment. Sensei, see how impactful they are when you look at them directly? She knows how powerful her gaze is. That's why she wears such striking eyeshadow. Okay, lips. Think critically. I am. I promise. They say people are subconsciously drawn to water because it makes up more than half of the human body. I don't know how true that is, but her dewy lips and eyes, like dark pools, are certainly appealing. Animals tend to express their affection through mouth contact, so I hear dogs like to lick their owners, for example. On first examination, kissing is pointless. It's not even a blacked, but in its pointlessness, it lets partners affirm their affections on level beyond blah, 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 blah. What flavors of male affection have those pale pink lips affirmed, I wonder? Bro's judgin'? A cutesy Lolita dressed. It's tasteful. Curves suggest a body and a slender figure. A soft body. Someday, some other guy will come along that loves that body deeply. Will take her flesh and soul in his arms, looking at her and only her forevermore. That's a nice mindset to have. I hope she meets that fateful man someday. Someone who makes her porcelain skin blush ruddy pink. From beneath my sunless rock, I'll watch the happy couple skip off into the distance. Oh, I'll cry in my anguish. How sweet it must be to be human. He does seem to wish good for her. Beneath that innocent guise, she burns with desire. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Everyone feels desire, men and women alike. Once you realize that, starts to feel less like a part of you and more like a detached thing happening on some meta level. At her age, those impulses are bound to lead her into misadventure. Sooner or later, she'll end up crying into her pillow after someone else's urges exploit her. And after many loves and many abuses, she'll grow into a proper lady with her head held high. Perhaps. I might boast that I can read people's feelings, but only God knows what the future holds. Okay, he seems overall not... Like, he is interested in her. He definitely is. He recognizes the fact that he finds her attractive. He just feels like he won't be able to connect with her on an emotional level. Currently harsh on himself. Wishing that he was the one that brought happiness to her, but instead he wishes another one to take her because he has had bit self-loathing. He feels like he can never connect with people. So he's already shut off the possibility of them actually forming connection. And if we continue with the idea that he's not actually doesn't have like a supernatural ability to see into people's minds right now, he's assuming that her mindset is somebody who's waiting to take advantage of him. Somebody who's not genuinely interested, which I don't think he's wrong. From what we see from his very biased perspective, she is filling and playing that part pretty well. He is always very self-loathing. He both sees himself as above connection with people and also longing for it because he feels that his struggles with connecting with people is what makes him so miserable. Which is true. He is miserable because he can't connect with people. He just needs to find ways of disconnecting from his perceived truths. You know what I mean? Let's do this again sometime, Sensei. I'll message you, okay? Every time the world hurts you, come and warm yourself back up. Take all the good and bad it could to a delicate... Wait, huh? Take all the good and bad it could do to a delicate man, all those sights and memories and smells and emotions, and pour them into writing. A wonderful book. You have that skill, and you can experience sadness, experience suffering, and turn those dark, twisted feelings into words. You were born with that curse, and that blessing. Let's get tea again sometime. I'll pour a cup for you whenever you want. I really loved your book. She is acknowledging the fact that he doesn't seem to feel connected, like he can experience happiness. The pigtails are cute. You met up with a girl, Oni-chan? That's new. You know, it's kind of spooky that you sussed that out so quickly. It smelled a bit different tonight, I think. I don't mind though. I'm glad you're still like other boys in some ways. Hey, don't get the wrong idea. I wasn't some hookup. I was just gathering reference material, that's all. That too is something other boys do. Getting flustered and trying to deflect. Hey, there's no good way to talk about the opposite sex, is there? This is so interesting that he keeps calling it that. He sees them as so, like, foreign from his own identity. Which makes sense. I mean, he's a guy, but he sees it as the opposite of him. When he could be seeing them as, like, women. He could be calling them females in the biological sense, since he likes talking about that. But he always reduces them to opposite sex, specifically. Is there? No matter what you say, everyone will interpret it romantically. Oh, wait. Is there? No matter what you say, everyone will interpret it romantically. It's such a pain in the butt. I don't think that's true. Did you meet her then? She DM'd me. She said she liked my work and wanted to chat face to face, and I figured I could get some material out of it. Plus, I was curious. That's all, I promise. Oni-chan? What? I realize this is unusually boring advice for me to give, but you're a published author now, and that means you need to be more careful about meeting fans, especially girls. I guess that's a fair point. Talking about women is a goddamn minefield. All human interactions are littered with misunderstandings waiting to happen, but this is the worst kind by far. I'll never get why so many people endure this torment just for the privilege of giving half their life to someone else. Just like other boys, Oni-chan. Yes, and I wish I wasn't. Imagine how life would be if your head was filled with white noise, day in and day out. And sometimes that noise just speaks in a human voice. Just dial. All you are is a burden to other people. Your life has no value. That'd suck, right? You can block it out. You hear it even through... Oh, you can't block it out. You hear it even through your headphones. You'd get sick of it, wouldn't you? I think that's why... Well, I think. That is why he doesn't feel like he can connect with women. Okay. Yes, this is the last one I'm going through tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm enjoying this game so far. I know it's kind of a yap fest, but I hope you guys understand. I'm enjoying it a lot. I like Sahana's theme a lot. It's very, very, very enjoyable. I need to look up the music. I can't wait to play more. I'm planning to play more, I promise. I want to play more next week. Because it's really, really fun. I'm enjoying it. It's definitely much more thought-provoking than the other games we've been playing right now. And I hope you guys don't mind if it's a little bit more boring in comparison. Let me see. Sahana's theme. Yeah, let's listen to this. I like it. It's this classic visual novel sound. It's really nice. So right now we're just in the starting part. You know how people talk about like hold on. I saved, right? I saved. I did save. I don't know. I'm always nervous that I'm somehow forgetting. Okay, let me close the game. Okay, gotta watch the VOD later. I only listened to half of the story. That's okay. It's not boring in my opinion. I hope not. I know it's definitely a lot more of a heavy game to cover. It has a lot of conversations. The main protagonist is a very complex character, which makes it really hard to feel one specific way or another about him. Since something I really like about this game so far is the perspective of the world being shades of gray rather than black and white. But this guy falls into very black and white thinking, despite the fact that he understands the world is in shades of gray. I like it a lot. It's helping me yap about stuff. It might be age restricted on YouTube. Yeah. So, I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope I'm really having fun, and I'm really grateful for everybody who's shown up and who's enjoyed. It's really cool. We had a developer stop by. That's nuts. I've never had that happen before, so that's really cool. I'm glad that I was able to connect with somebody at the very least. Um, I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I've been really enjoying playing these games. I'm glad that you guys are spending your time with me. I hope you're enjoying these complex games. I'm having a great time playing this game. I can't wait to play more. Yeah, I'm screwed too. Well, I mean, the Twitch VOD is still here, guys. Come on. My only way to go back. Ah. Okay, guys. Don't worry too hard. Thank you everybody for watching. I have had so much fun. Thank you for spending such a long day with me today. Reminder, tomorrow we're gonna have a really special stream. It is time. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Oh. This one. This one. Yes. Tomorrow is Judgment Day. That's right. We're going to be playing. Not playing. We're gonna be doing our Wisps in 4K review, and it'll be really fun. Thank you for this stream. Thank you for this stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you everybody who lurks, by the way, everybody who watches. I'm so happy to have been able to play it with you guys, and I can't wait to play even more. So, thank you everybody for stopping by. I hope you sleep well. I hope you enjoyed this very long stream. See you soon, Wisps. Was Yasumi. Sleep tight.